I mean, we were on point with the organization. You know, the campaign director emphasized we're going to block out the noise, Rhoda. We're not focusing on the hype. We're not doing mass rallies. We're not doing these lengthy motorcades. You're going to focus on getting in the communities, touching flesh with the people. Because one of the complaints we got, or one of the feedback, because we believe in listening to the people. And one of the things the JLP internal poll showed us, it showed me leading the opponent, of course, and it showed that the people are confident in my work ethic, but we picked up that there were persons who wanted to see more of Rhoda, and not more of Rhoda in her MP capacity, because it's two different roles. They see me on the ground doing my MP work. They want to see more of Rhoda in the political hat, in her green shirt, sitting down on the corner, that sort of thing. And when we saw that that was one of the concerns, we hammered that home. And, you know, there were days when I was so tired, and the campaign director insisted, you're going out there today, you're going to meet the people. And Cliff, let me tell you something. You alluded to it earlier, and it is true. I don't know where you heard it from, but I can confirm that people in the highest level of leadership, multiple persons, reached out to me in a serious way to say, Rhoda, we know that you've been an excellent member of parliament. We'd want to see you return to Gordon House, but we have a concern with you being in Manchester Central, especially after the local election. And I told them, I have all confidence in the people of Manchester Central. I asked the party, please allow me the opportunity to represent the people. We got to a bargaining ground. The party said, well, Rhoda, we will do a poll in the constituency to see how you're showing up. The poll was done. They were satisfied with the results. And they said, Rhoda, you have our blessing. We believe you'll be able to take it home. And when Prime Minister Holness came recently to move around in the constituency, he saw that I had the ground in control. When Dr. Tufton, who was our campaign chairman, came, he recognized the same thing. When Minister Vaz came, he recognized the same thing. When Minister Dana came, she recognized the same thing. When Delano came, when Aubin Hill came, when Senator Sophia Longmore came, all of the persons, when Dr. Andrew Wheatley came, when Minister Desmond Mackenzie came, those who came in the space felt and saw what I was saying. I told them, the people are not going to let me down. And I told them I want to stay with my people. They elected me in 2020. They will again re-elect me in 2025. And Cliff, I was at peace. I told myself that if I didn't make it home, it wasn't because I hadn't represented well, and I would have been willing to accept the fate, but I wasn't leaving the people in Manchester Central. I don't think that it would have been good. And it's not who I am, Cliff. And when I shared, you know, with two of my close political colleagues in the parliament who are returning for the second time, that, you know, the party want to move me. They're saying, boy, Rhoda, we're confident in your abilities, but you're sure you don't want to move. And the other thing that I stood firm on yesterday, Cliff, is not even just yesterday. This campaign in Manchester Central, Cliff, there were people, young men on the corner who came to me. They came to my campaign director. They came to our team leads, and they were not even mincing words. They told us straight, you have to pay for our vote. Some of the young men tell me, you have to buy me a motorbike. Some of them want us to... Motorbike. And I told them, Cliff, I am not giving any young men any motorbikes to go and kill off themselves. What I want to give you is real opportunities. Are you interested in a building grant? Are you interested in a farm work opportunity? I want to give you real opportunities. And I told them, you must set higher standards for yourself.
So hold on, Rhoda Moy Crawford. Are you saying that those who you were competing against were offering such bribes and inducements to young men?
And I say that without fear or apology, because we have the evidence.
A motorbike?
Motorbikes, building material, all kinds of things, Cliff. Cars. I was under so much pressure. So, Cliff, I wasn't under any real pressure from some of the dark forces in some instant, meaning the people were standing with me and standing up with me. The pressure that I would say I come under was from some of my own supporters who felt that, Rhoda, the other side is offering this. What are you gonna do? We want something too. And you know, people were pressuring me for car rentals. And you know, I told them I have the messages, I can forward them, I can screenshot. Up to yesterday when we were going down to the wire, some of my solid supporters were telling me, look here, it's 30 of us up here, it's 8 of us. If you don't bring some money to us by 5 minutes to 5, we're not voting. And I told them straight, I do not buy votes. And Cliff, we made up our mind. I told them and I told my campaign director, I have put in the work. And if I can't win based on the work that I've put in, it would be a sad day for Manchester Central and a sad day for Jamaica. So I'm so happy that the people of Manchester Central has shown the rest of Jamaica and the rest of the world that we want good representation from our people. And once we represent and work hard and work well, they will deliver. And the other thing, Cliff, I have to contribute to the victory. The middle class of Manchester Central, Cliff, they turned up and turned out in their numbers yesterday.
Very interesting.
When I was moving.
Go ahead.
And I want my opponent to hear this. The more he went on a stage and big up the Don, the worse it got for him on the ground. Because I saw pastors calling me, church leaders calling me. Cliff, there were members of the church who donated money for me for petrol yesterday. They called me, they said, MP, we don't want dons. We don't want criminality. We're gonna sponsor some gas vouchers for you. And they did. And Cliff, I soon get to the workers because I have to tell you, because remember them, they tell lie, oh, my workers gone. Not never go so, but I'll get back to that. And Cliff, the man of a business community, my God, they showed up for me. Some of them say, Rhoda, we hear that we're not to give you any money because you're not gonna take home the seat. And they tell me, we're helping you anyway, win, lose or draw. And I tell them I'm gonna win. I am very confident I'm going to win because I felt the love and support on the ground. I felt it, and we had some helpline, and the most frequent calls we got was, where do I vote? Because we had a big chunk of new voters. I met people 60-odd-year-old, 50-odd-year-old who had never voted. And they say, Rhoda, we have seen the work that you've put in. We have seen the unfair attack that you have gone under, the JLP has gone under, the party leader has gone under. We are going to vote for you. And they went to the EOJ office, they got their ID, but they didn't know what to do with the ID because, of course, these are affluent people who have their passports and driver's license, so they really have no need for the national ID that serves double purpose. And they were calling, asking me, Rhoda, where do I vote? And that's why I made a video showing people that if you flip the back of the ID, if you see 44, it's Manchester Central, and the other number is the polling station. And we did up, so Laverne King did up all of those sheets to show them what does 76 mean. And that.
So let me ask you, Rhoda, last night was a night when several female JLP candidates came home, the two Juliets, Cuthbert and Holness, Favour Williams, Tova, Malahoo Fort, Kerencia, Morrison, Crystal Lee. What is happening? The women, especially the first term MPs, they held the ground the last evening.
I mean, Cliff, you know, I'm very happy for all the women who returned.
Oh dear, we're losing the audio. Oh, okay. Hold it for us, Rhoda. Let's go to a break and come right back. I will pick up there. Of what happened in central Manchester, where she was able to prevail yesterday by just about 1,000 votes against the mayor of Mandeville, Donovan Mitchell. She said arrayed against her were some dark forces, and she really ran against 3 opponents, Kenneth Black, Calvin Lynn, and Donovan Mitchell. I put to her just before the break, Ms. Crawford, the performance of the women in the JLP, and I didn't include Marissa Dalrymple. She's making a comeback in Southern Trelawney as well. What do you think accounts for the fact that so many of the women held their seats while so many men lost?
And you know, Cliff, I was making the point quickly. ironically that the women are actually the backbone of the Jamaica Labour Party. 70% of the women, of our workers, are women. And, you know, women bring a different kind of flair to leadership. You know, the emotional side, the motherly side, you know, that kind. And all the women in Jamaica Labour Party are hard workers. You would have seen us going above and beyond. And the example was set by Shiny and Olivia Babsy Grange. So the rest of us who came, we had a clear template to follow. And, you know, I really am sorry that Anne-Marie Vaz didn't make it in, because she served as a motivation for many of us as new young women who are looking to our second term, because she worked hard and she laid the foundation, and she showed us when she took Portland Eastern that it was possible. So I really feel for her because she put in the work. But I know she was against some serious dark forces as well.
Rhoda, you mentioned earlier that the middle class came out for you in central Manchester yesterday. And I'm beginning to learn that the middle class also came out heavily for Favour Williams in Eastern St. Andrew, for Juliet Holness in East Rural St. Andrew, for Juliet Cuthbert-Flynn in St. Andrew, West Rural. Tell me what is happening here. Is it that they are beginning to understand that, listen, we've got to be involved?
Yes. And when I spoke to, you know, some of the voters in Manchester Central, and, you know, I really drilled and asked why they weren't interested in years gone by. And they said, frankly speaking, because whichever government was in office, they would be able to take care of themselves and their families. But they are now looking at the economy and the crime, and even though they can't take care of themselves, they realize that when, depending on the policies of government, it affects their quality of life. So they decided they wanted to be a part, and many of them told me when they saw the kind of rhetorics coming from the PNP platform, they couldn't. They had to come out and fight. They didn't want that. They didn't want that kind of return.
Yes.
Yes.
Somebody just sent me this. Parliament now filled with G2K. 4 presidents, Tufton, Steve Wright, Floyd Green, and Matthew Samuda, and the executive members, Tova, Rhoda, Nesta, Crystal Lee, Xavier, and James Robertson, a founding member. The PNP's Ian Hales, a former VP of G2K.
That's right.
Yeah. This is some serious political rewards being reaped here by the Labour Party.
Yeah, you know what I would say, Cliff? Because when you join G2K, remember the G2K is the professional arm of the party, and it's more than politics. So we couldn't just sit in idly. We got specific roles. So many of us had to go into constituencies, by-election, local government election, and work with candidates. My campaign director, Rihanna Wright, is a former G2K vice president as well. So we got good training and real training. When we were in G2K too, Delano, Steve Wright, Matthew Samuda, Floyd Green, under their time, Terry Long is G2K as well. We had to find creative ways to raise money and all of those things. So G2K is a good training ground. So is Young Jamaican. We learn to fight in G2K. We learn to fight. So a lot of our fighting abilities came from G2K. Yeah. So yes.
Now,
but Cliff,
go ahead.
I don't know how many time I have left, so I don't want to come off this interview without bigging up my army of workers. I remember when there were callers who came on and said that my workers were leaving to South Manchester and so on. And I said, you know, that's not true, because I know that wasn't the truth. But, you know, some things you don't respond to. You wait until the right time. My workers were in place yesterday, Cliff. They were so energized. And even before yesterday, we had people begging us to be workers. We even said to them, the list is full. We can't take anybody home. And I treat my workers well. In fact, I treat people well. I am not from wealth and riches. And it is the community who first showed me kindness outside of my family. So it is in me to be naturally kind. So I'm not an unkind person. So when I heard people say, oh, she don't take care of her workers, it's PNP propaganda and lies. You know, I take care of my workers. I speak to them with respect. I look out for them, get them involved in various programs. We didn't have to wait for the party to tell us to do worker appreciation. We're always doing that and making our workers, you know, feel special and appreciated. So Cliff, I want to thank them because they are the real foot soldiers. They stood up and they fight, and some of them in the polling stations, they came up against some PNP bullies. And we had some polling station, Cliff, that I couldn't even get to all the polling stations yesterday because while I was en route to one, we're getting called. You should see outside of the Carteret College at one point, we couldn't get the people, the voters couldn't get in. The PNP supporters, they're not voters, you know. They block off the place completely out there in their orange and their drinks and, you know, some hurling. Time come, Rhoda. I say, yeah, time come to re-elect me. And then we went up to David and they blocked the roads. We couldn't go in by because they were just all over the place creating mischief yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Real mischief and intimidating our workers. And every call we got, myself and the campaign director, we jump in the vehicle and we tell them, hold the fort, we come in because we're not afraid of them. We're not afraid of them. And so they're really my workers. Big thank you. I love them. I thank them. And Cliff, the 9,000 plus people who came out for me, especially those who were voting for the very first time, thank you so much. And those of you who took the buyout, I hope you have learned a lesson. No love lost. I'm still going to serve you and serve you well.
All the best, Rhoda Moy Crawford, and congratulations.
So
congratulations. Good. That's how we're going to leave it. We're going to take a break and come back with more.